Welcome to Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2021. Hope everyone's going to have a great Christmas Eve today and Christmas weekend. Certainly the weather getting to be a little bit more festive for some of you. This is going to be especially true if you live near the mountains or you're along and west of the Continental Divide. Merry Christmas to everybody. As we go through this Christmas weekend, the Pacific Trough is going to continue to inch, and I just mean inch its way ever so slowly more south and east. But as it does so, mountain snow will continue to fall at times, and temperatures will slowly get colder along and east of the divide. That mountain snow pattern, off and on for the next week to 10 days, is remaining on schedule. This is going to lead to travel problems at times, especially along the higher elevations, any mountain pass, as well as the high elevations of Interstate 80, and at times maybe even I-25 and certainly I-70 in Colorado's mountain areas, and I-15 into Utah, I-80 all the way into California, and other roads and highways in the Pacific Northwest and the interior West. All areas are going to be much colder, especially by midweek, and there's going to be some areas getting very cold next week that don't normally get really cold in the winter. We'll show you those areas. Here's today's satellite photos. You can see a swath of moisture coming up out of the Pacific here. There's a lot of water in the air right here, getting directed into the central and northern Rockies, and a strong jet stream wind as well. And that's leading to a lot of lift, and that lift coming over the mountains makes that snow really get generated in the higher elevations. This cloud pattern right here out in the eastern Pacific is an indication that the air aloft is really cold. And this is the really cold low that's up there that's slowly, ever so slowly moving this way. And a lot of very cold air up north of this line right now. And as we go through the weekend and into early next week, it's just a very, very slow, methodical push south and east of that trough. Here we are today. We've got this little low coming out of California, and this is going to be responsible for the significant snow in the mountains over the next 24 to 36 hours and some rain and snow showers in the plains. In fact, last night, some rain and snow showers did get onto parts of the Front Range of Colorado and Wyoming, and that may happen today, tonight, into Saturday as well. But the really cold air is still back up here, up into Canada, British Columbia, and over across the eastern Pacific, but nudging ever so slowly more south and east. So this is for today. This is for Saturday. It's kind of a standoff. By Sunday, this cold air pocket gets a little more consolidated and starts to move a little bit more south and east. It does look like over this Christmas weekend, colder temperatures and mountain snow, and I do see some snow showers getting on into the plains, especially in Montana, Wyoming, northwest, far northern Colorado, up into this area right here. There's going to be a little bit of snow shower activity reaching the plains this Christmas weekend, with temperatures gradually getting colder. But the really, really cold air is still up to the north and west. But by Tuesday, this is by Tuesday, the trough gets a bigger push. It gets further south into the desert southwest. The trajectory of the air, if you follow the wind barbs, is coming out of the north slope of Alaska, out of the Yukon and the Northwest Territories. So you're going to start to get some really, really cold air, some sub-zero temperatures by the middle of the week in that area there, and that colder air is going to be pushing south. Northwest wind flow into the mountains will keep occasional mountain snows going. These are temperatures relative to average by Wednesday. So by Wednesday, you see all the purple here and the green and the blue? The blue delineates where temperatures go below the 30-year averages. And so when you start to get into the greens, the blues, and the purples, you're getting into some really cold air. This is where the severe cold is going to be. Notice the cold getting into the Pacific Northwest, getting into California. Now look at these temperatures right here. Now, usually the Pacific modifies the winter temperatures in the Pacific Northwest, but they're going to see some really cold air leak in. And this has been good for the snowpack. Look at the Sierra Nevada snowpack right here. Look at that. That is fantastic news. It was nowhere like that a year ago. Now, we all want this moisture to get further east into the central and northern Rockies, and it will. But anytime you see the Sierra Nevada get a really good jump on the snowpack like this, this is really, really good news, and they're going to add to these totals. This is the snowfall forecast through Sunday afternoon. So you can see the entire west, the northern plains, starting to see the snow get a little bit more widespread. You see these little patches of gray on the plains. This is where we're going to see some snow showers and flurries at times get out onto the plains. But as we have been preaching all over the last couple of weeks, it's areas west of the divide that are going to do the best. But there's going to be some pretty good snows out here on the plains of Montana and the Dakotas as well, so travelers keep that in mind. Now take a look a little bit closer in. This is through Sunday for into Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, parts of Montana and Idaho in the region. And you can see all the pink over the major mountain ranges is continuing to get the snowfall. And the higher elevations of Interstate 80, the higher plateau areas here catch some of that moisture. Northwest Colorado as well. You know, this is the type of pattern where the mountains around Steamboat, around Encampment, down into the north central mountains, the ski areas of north central Colorado, the ski areas of Utah, Wyoming's western ski areas. This is just a recipe for great snowfall. Now, I wanted to show you the 10-day snowfall forecast going more into the Pacific Northwest. You probably see a lot of pink and blue here. Notice the blue is reaching the coast, some of the coastal areas. So over the next week, it is going to snow in Seattle. It is going to snow in Portland. So we're looking at snow even getting down to the coastal areas of Northern California. So that really cold air is going to leak first into these areas, more so than here, but eventually get more eastward. These are temperatures, forecasted low temperatures by Wednesday morning. Anywhere you see gray is below zero. So we are likely going to be looking at many areas, single digits to maybe sub-zero by the middle of next week, and that cold air holding right on into the new year. This is the 10-day precipitation forecast. This takes us through New Year's weekend. Here's our snow hole. It continues here, although it's not as big. And you can see that around the snow hole, there's significant precipitation, even down here in the Texas, even down into these areas here could get into the act. And a lot of this is going to be wintry weather. Look at all the snow over southern Canada, the northern plains, into the northern Great Lakes, getting into New England. But really, it's the Rocky Mountain West and the far west where the snows are going to be most impressive over the next week to 10 days. Have yourself a very Merry Christmas. You have to travel, do so carefully. And some of you might get lucky and see a few snowflakes today and over Christmas weekend. And if you're a skier or a snowmobiler, have fun in the deep powdery snow. But keep in mind those avalanche dangers are going to really be going up over the next week.